Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys slash Hono Studio Secret Base figure preview video. Before we begin, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person and for snapping these gorgeous high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below because without him, this series literally wouldn't be possible. If you're looking to pre-order your very own copy of Hono Studio comic book Iron Man, I have popped a link to Pop Collectibles in the description below. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. I've also included the discount code Justin's Collection in the description for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Hono Studio figure preview video goes live on the channel. With all of that now out of the way, this is their 4th attempt at a comic book Iron Man. And interestingly enough, it might be their 4th, but it's their first one not to be a die-cast release, and it's by Hono Studio, which is their kind of like sub-brand for Hot Toys. They're meant to be cheaper entry-grade figures, but then again, the prices are starting to creep up anyway, but we'll leave the price out of it. Let's just discuss the piece himself. In terms of accessories, we get some hands and an alternative faceplate. Just ignore the paint peeling on the prototype. That is not going to be present on the final production version. I was personally really happy with their last attempt at comic book Iron Man, the die-cast one with the really bright color scheme. However, while that figure is accurate to certain panels from certain books drawn by certain artists, most of the time, if you're picturing Iron Man, I'm pretty sure you're imagining him with a metallic finish on his suit, right? So that's why a lot of people passed on that one. They said he looked too Marvel Legends-esque, for lack of a better way to describe it. That's literally what people were saying about that previous release. So this one aims to fix a lot of issues that the die-cast one had, but it might just have some of its own. Starting off with the ankles. Are they silicone like the arms and legs? I don't know. Is there a seam? I certainly don't think so, because that foot is not planted flat on the base. That, to me, looks like a static boot. And if that's what they've done, they've not gone with a split cut design or a rubbery material for the boots, that's a stupid choice, because we need that ankle pivot action. The base is already oversized. It's massive, so if you want to get him in an A stance so he takes up the entire footprint of the base, we have to be able to tilt the ankles in so that he can be nice and planted on the surface. If they have gone with a rubbery material, what does that mean? Pink panty syndrome? Back in the day when they used rubbery stuff with metallic red over the top, it faded, it turned pink, and it looked terrible. Fingers crossed, not the case with this one, but you see that diaper piece? That is a soft material. It's flexing as the legs have been moved forward, so it could very well happen. We may see fading on this piece after a couple of years. Just something to be aware of. Cracking also could be something that rears its ugly head. Another thing to be mindful of, nothing is set in stone. We really don't know, because this is such an experimental piece from them. Using silicone and magnets for the lights, we'll discuss that in just a moment. Rubbery plastic. It's been ages since we've had a rubbery plastic Iron Man figure from them, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I will be picking this piece up. I know it's still early in the video, but in case you were wondering, yes, I'm all in on Hono Studio. But let's talk about the arms and legs. They're made of medical silicone. So with the die-cast one, we had all this tech circuitry panel line stuff over the arms and legs, but this one just has pure musculature on display. He's much smoother, but he's also more metallic than the die-cast one was. How did they do that? Is the medical silicon cast in gold silicon? Is that even a thing? Or is it painted? It's definitely got a metallic flake to it. It's nice and glossy on the surface. I can also see a seam line on the inside of that arm, but we'll ignore that. Is it going to crack? Is it going to crease? More questions. It seems I'm presenting more questions than I'm answering, but sometimes that's just the way it goes, I suppose. Anyway, one thing I do know for certain is the finish is on point. Someone said in the comment section when this was announced that he looks like an Alex Ross painting brought to life, and I see it. The metallic flake, the gleaming effect as lights bounce off the surface, it's all there. If you were waiting for them to give you a definitive comic book Iron Man, I don't think it gets much better than this. The only question is how durable are the silicon arms and legs going to be, and the rubbery parts as well. So this is what I alluded to a moment ago. We've got this little magnetic disc that you use to turn on the repulsor hand lights and also the arc reactor. Or I think they called it a repulsor 2 in the comics. Just let me know down in the comments below. I've not actually read an Iron Man comic. I know, sacrilege. This might not be as cool of a feature as you think, because he's still button cell battery powered. It's just that now we don't have to flick a tiny switch, we've got a magnetic disc instead. I would have preferred USB-C or literally anything else. Button cell batteries, a thing of the past, they're archaic, let's be done with them. Let's discuss the head sculpt very quickly. I like the shape of the helmet, and I dig the fact that you can see his eyes through the little slits around the front. And yes, when you switch the faceplate over, you'll still be able to see the eyes underneath the faceplate. While the one that's on him now is more accurate to the comic cover behind him, and that's a very iconic image of comic book Iron Man, I'm going to go with the, I'm so sorry, horny Iron Man faceplate. The one with the little horns up top. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's my personal preference. I like that classic look to it. And kudos to Hono Studio for finally using artwork that's representative of the figure they're making. That's going to be included inside the box, rather than printing something completely random on there, like Extremis Iron Man, and then they've given us this. It sounds stupid, but they printed the astonishing suit on Tiger Stripe Wolverine's box, which is just ridiculous. So at the end of this, I'm insanely curious about how this piece is going to feel and handle when he eventually gets released. So stay tuned and we'll find out together whether or not silicon has any place on a Iron Man figure, or if they should just stick to slightly more stylized die-cast releases instead. Now, I'm pre-ordering mine from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research and make sure you're comfortable before buying. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.